Hi, my name is Coni, and this is my video essay on Ulysses S. Grant. The 5 main points of his life I will be focusing on are his early life, when he joined the military, when he joined the Civil War, his presidency, and the end of his life. Hiram Ulysses Grant was born on April 27, 1822, and he was born in Point Pleasant, Ohio. He was the youngest of 6 children, and his parents were Jesse Grant and Hannah Simpson Grant. His family was religious and very hardworking. Jesse Grant started his own tannery business, and although Ulysses hated it, he was very good at it. Grant joined the military for many reasons, but a couple of standout reasons were because he didn't want to take over his father's business and because he wanted to travel. When he handed in his application to West Point, a benefactor made an error on his form, which resulted in a changed name. Grant never got this fixed because he never liked that his initials spelled Hug. Grant became first general in the Mexican-American War. However, he was very against the war because he believed it was unjust. After the war, he married his long-term girlfriend, Julia Dent. Fun fact about Julia Dent is that she is my great-great-great-great-great-great-great-aunt on my mom's side. Julia and Ulysses started a family together, but not long after, Grant had to move stations and he had to leave his family for long periods, which made him feel very lonely and isolated. This made him turn to alcohol, which he would later become addicted to. After a while of failing to move his family out, Grant left the military and went home to work for his father's business. When Lincoln asked for volunteers for the Civil War, Grant was ready to come back to the military. In the beginning, he was a colonel in Illinois. While Grant was a colonel, Lincoln was facing some problems. Abraham Lincoln couldn't find a good commander-in-chief to help him win the war. Winfield Scott resigned in 1861, George McClellan's cautiousness was causing him to lose battle, and Henry Wallach was good at organizing but terrible at strategizing. In 1864, Grant was offered the position of general. Grant had an analytical skill that the other generals didn't have, and he would be the general that would help the Union win the war. In 1868, Grant was elected president at the age of 46. He was the youngest person to be elected at the time. He served 2 terms. However, once he became president, his reputation sunk. Many disliked President Grant because his administration was labeled one of the most corrupt in U.S. history. However, Grant never had any direct involvement in the scandals that he faced. Grant was principled and trusting, so he believed that everyone would follow his lead, but when they didn't, he either didn't know about it or didn't believe it was happening. As a leader, it was his job to fix his cabinet, but his lack of ability permanently tainted his presidency. People tend to focus on the negative parts of Grant's presidency, but there were several good parts. Ulysses was very into civil rights. He worked to protect African Americans and get them the right to vote. He also did a lot to get rid of the Ku Klux Klan. Towards the end of Grant's life, Grant invested in a business that ended up being a scam, and he lost a lot of money, which left him broke. After many of his friends told him to, Grant decided to write an autobiography. This autobiography ended up becoming so successful that it restored his family's fortune. Unfortunately, Grant would never live to see this because he died from throat cancer almost exactly a year after he was diagnosed. Thank you for watching my presentation, and I hope you have a better understanding of Ulysses S. Grant's life.